How to Draw Cartoons with John-Marc. Hey, it's John-Marc and welcome to my series on teaching you how to draw cartoons. I'm excited that you're here checking out this latest episode. I have 3 fun lessons to share with you. The first one is going to be a little cartoon turkey. And the second one is going to be a little reindeer, a little different type of pose and everything, but clever. Basically, these two you can use your imagination on. Now, the third one is going to be a little cartoon fish, and I'm going to be doing that one on the computer and give you some really broad tips on that one. So, if you have your paper and pencil, I think we're ready to begin today's lesson. All right, so you'll be watching me sketch on my stylus on the computer right now. It'll look and feel as if I am doing traditionally. And let's begin the little cartoon turkey. And I have the basic shapes that I look for, sketchy as you can see still, even though it's on the computer, still flows that way. I have the head, I have the crosshair to help me, to guide me with the eyes, and the position for the little beak, and his neck and his body. So when you're learning from this technique that I share doing traditionally, as you can see, it's the same effect I like to do on the computer. Still sketchy. And I use and created a pencil kind of like a lead pencil. So I control the gray value. So the harder I push, the darker it goes, the lighter, and so forth. So when you see the sketch, it'll feel just like traditional. But there's a pro by having it on the computer because I have layers and I can clean it up much quicker. I don't have to scan it in. But doing stuff traditionally, I recommend keep that method up. That's a one tool that a lot of people are losing. So getting back to the little cartoon here, making the little eyes here, the body is getting formed. And feel free to explore your expressions and maybe even your style of the cartoon. As you can see there with the eyes, I'm pressing harder now on the pencil on the computer. So now you can see the darkness that's coming through there. And here's a little beak that we're working on right now. Very simple. And if I wanted to, since I'm doing this on the computer, I could create a second layer. So the first layer would have been very sketchy. That's the first overall one that you saw before I start the eyes. And now coming with the this layer, I could have a second layer on top of that. So there's 2 layers I could turn on, turn off. And the purpose behind that is that you can see if you didn't like something, if you want to erase it, you're not erasing the first sketch. That's what's nice with the traditional computer on there. So here's a little gobble gobble on there. There's the beak there, hanging on the other side. All right. All right, getting a little bit darker on there. So even though I didn't sketch these 2 out, I went right to medium to almost dark. Because I have the basic shape of the turkey laid out. I'm just creating the little eyebrows on the top there, and there we go, a little darker. His eyelids there. All right, let's get the side of his head. Working on the whole body basically right now. So again, what I suggest when you're doing this on the computer, if you have one layer of the sketch, the second layer, where I'm step number 2, a little bit heavier and more detail on there. And then the third level could actually be layer, I mean not level, the third layer could actually be the cleanup one. So I would actually dim out that one. I'll show that in the lesson later today right now. Going around the body there, the little leg, quickly putting this out. His belly right there, his wing. And feel free to, afterwards, if you want to color this little turkey in, put it behind a background or a scenery if he has other turkeys around there, if he's in the woods or on a farm. He could be in outer space, too. That's what the cool part about being a cartoonist, using your imagination, I say. Here's his little feathers. A funny little story I'll share with you right now. It's kind of fun. So as turkey goes and deers go, when we used to live in New Jersey, we used to have a very large property. And on there, we had all these wild animals. And no lie, but right on Thanksgiving, we had a ton of turkeys. If I said 20, there's probably 20 that were just right at our back door. It was so hysterical. And then at the same time, we had at least maybe 10 or 15 deers right there eating all in their backyard and in a walking distance, like 5, 10 feet from the back door. It was so funny. Everyone's like, okay, Thanksgiving, let's celebrate now. All right, so back to the lesson. And here we go with the feathers. Tip again. So when you're drawing a particular animal, you may need to pull out a reference book and get some ideas how that character or that animal might look. And then from there, you can totally change it. You can really stylize it too. And this is just a simple style that I liked when I grew up going to my art school back in the late 80s. Can you believe that? Wow. Oh my goodness. 40 years ago or so. All right, the tails, all the feathers looking good. You can have them pointy on the top. I just made them square and flat. That's just a little style that I just did for right now. Looking good. Yeah, this one coming along simple. As you can see, even though I'm doing it on the computer, I have not erased anything and I don't care to erase whatsoever. Even more so on the computer because I have another layer. I can just clean this little one up and color him in ink and color him in, or print it out for that matter and color him in, or re-sketch it on another piece of paper. That's a good tip. Even though you drew this once, you may want to go back and draw it traditionally or on the computer, whichever way you're handling it, to practice more of memorization and copying something down for a cartoon. Because being a cartoonist, you got to make sure that everybody has a similar style to what you are a cartoonist working on right now, what you are working on, I should say. So if you're working on a little comic strip, everything has to be the same from the previous person over. So little tip there. Let's get the horizon line down there. Some grass growing down there. Yep, I think I'm done. So let's sign and date. Share with your family and friends. Thanks for watching this lesson and have a great day. Now that was a little fun little cartoon turkey. What did you do different? Using your imagination, your creativity, maybe even your style, whatever you did, I know you put your personal touch to it and did your best. That's all I'm asking for. And learning how to sketch better. So if you enjoy this lesson, the next one with the reindeer is going to be just as fun. So stay tuned.
And now back to our show.
All right, if you still have your paper and pencil handy and ready, this reindeer lesson is going to be a real simple one, but using your imagination and creativity, and just understand it's just a front shot, but I would love to see what your creativity can do maybe in the background. So, I think we're ready to begin. All right, let's begin the lesson, and this is going to be a very simple one, yet the purpose behind that is just to teach you a different way of drawing, and that is like if you took the paper and split it in half, whatever you did on the left, you're going to copy right on the right sides. So this lesson is going to be a little easy, but if you want to use your imagination and change the style, by all means, jump on in. So here I have the basic shapes I have for the head there, his little two paws on the top. I have his nose and the eye here right now. So you're not going to see the whole body. So this is just a partial body, as if he's peeking over a snow mound or even peeking over the fence. And it's just going to be a different expression. A little one there, it's like, whoa, you know, he sees all the presents that he has to pull now for Santa Claus. All right, so I'm going to work on the antlers here. Really simple here. Just create the little ears and the area back and forth. Let's see right now, the ears first. Let's get that. All right. And there we go. Okay, I feel good. I was trying to figure that in my head and everything, and now I like it. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so, and beginning with the little hair here and there. That's a little cute there. So when you're thinking, when you're working on these projects and watching what I'm sharing with you doing traditionally, and once again, as you can see, this is on the computer digitally. It looks as if I am drawing traditionally. But it's all on the computer, have the same feel. So here's his little antlers, really big and stylized to my technique and my drawings. In a sense, I remember I had to do some Christmas moose for a company, and they actually had them designed for women's nightgowns. They made over 270,000 of them, and they sold nationwide. That was fun. Just thinking that I should do it, maybe a moose. But here we go with the little reindeer. There's little hoofs up on top, and I'm kind of not making them look flat like a hoofs intentionally, trying to give them more of the stylized and more creativity. This is like step number 2 where I'm at now. Between they're getting a little bit heavier with everything. This is little nose is hanging over, but you're not going to see his mouth. But you may want to add the mouth. But in this case, my little character right here, I am having it behind that snow mound, or if it's up like the fence I set. Do, 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 do. Let's get the eyeball a little bit there, a little bit more. So this one would be definitely interesting to do in watercolors, I like to say, because I could get very stylized, or then you can use abstract colors into another one, like almost like pop art, the type of visual that I can see in my head when I'm drawing this out right now. And that doesn't mean I'm going to do it, but that's just how I am as an artist. And you might be the same way. When you're working, you're also thinking of different things at the same time. That happens. That's creative minds. And it's amazing. There we go with the little eye. Do, do, do. The top of his hair there, the little fluffy head there. And what kind of colors do you think you're going to make this reindeer? Like a light brown or medium brown? Or a little, like a grayish tint pattern on there? Kind of might have to do some research and pull it out and see what colors the reindeers have. I think they're mostly white and with a little dark brown on them. Not white, but almost like a light brown maybe. And the inside of his ears. Ears are just really flat. And that again, I did that intentionally, have that mirror image look. You can see like the ears on one side look like the other one as well. And his head there, get the little antlers. You could go really fun. Just thinking this right now, you could add like Christmas lights or Christmas ornaments in the antlers hanging around up there and just dangling around. That would be fun. But I'm going to let you do that creativity, and if you like that, change it up then for sure. Okay, I'm just about done with this one. I can see what else can I do. What else? Let's see. I think I'm good. So at this time, let's sign and date. Share with your family and friends. Hope you enjoy this lesson and have a great day. Now, did you enjoy that little cartoon reindeer and some of the tips and techniques I had to share with you? What did you learn once again with the sketching? Did you use your imagination and change it to your style? Yes, that would be great. Maybe you started adding some background to it. Awesome. All these things would be great continuously, and maybe you want to still continue after this episode's over with. So, if you enjoy the first two, the next one is going to be awesome. So stay tuned.
And now back to our show.
All right, this next lesson is going to be a little challenging, and that is a good thing. And even though it's a little challenging, create it into your style would be perfect. But the tips and techniques I have to share with you on how I'm drawing on the computer, the different layers, overlapping, the shading in there, everything is going to be a little bit more advanced, but I know you're going to learn something from it. And this is exciting. So you may want to sit and watch or practice sketching right along. Whatever you do, let's begin. All right, let's begin this lesson on the cartoon fish. And as I shared, this might be a little challenging for you, whoever's working on it, but I want to encourage you. That is always a good thing. And what I mean by challenging is it's a little bit more detail I'm going to add, not major amount of detail, just a step up. So if it was like 5 steps, this would be maybe step 7, a little bit more on there. So you're going to see me go a little bit more and a little bit quicker with this one because again, this is just a very quick sketch. And from here, you can see I went from level number 1 to level number 2 on sketching. So I didn't sketch everything out. So I'm kind of randomly, when I get to a spot that I like, I feel good, I'll go darker with the pencil. Yeah, let's get the fin here on the top. There we go, a little curve there. And you can see what I'm doing. It's almost like working hard. And you see my strokes really quick and hard. So what I'm sharing with everyone right now, and when you're watching me, even though this is on the computer, the sketching sometimes when I do on my paper could look like this at times where I can just quickly know like boom, boom, boom. I know that line and that pencil and just feel comfortable with it. All right, let's get the little dot in the middle there. So this is just quickly just laying it all out so you can see how rough it is and the other fins on the bottom. And then I can clean this up for you and you can see what I'm talking about. So again, this is working on the computer and there's a pro to that. And that's because I can have it on layers. You'll see. All right, let's get the fin here. I'm just going to whip that out really quick there. The little bottom, that looks nice. Good, good, good. Yeah, let's get some of the fins. There's lines in the fins there. All right, I like it. What else can we do? A little, oh, let's get the eyebrows on there. Yeah, let's color that in quick, quick. And as you can see, you can also control the thickness of the pencil. Like if it's a mechanical, is it a wide one? You can control all the different levels. If it's an HB, is it a 2B or an H or HB or an F or a B? All right, I just highlighted those little highlights on the eyelids there. You can see that little glow on there. I like that. All right, that's looking good. I like it. The mouth, I'm just checking over. All right, and anything else I can do? Let's get a little bit heavier on the bottom there. Oh, you know what? Let's add some bubbles since he is a fish and he is swimming under the ocean or in an aquarium. Okay, here we go. Little reflection and shadowing on there. A couple more ones here. Okay, that's good. I like that. So on the bottom here now, what I have here is a quick little drawing for like little seaweed and for some coral reef. Again, as you can see, it's not so sketchy with the light step that I've gone. I've gone a little bit quicker and faster with this one because I'm very comfortable and confident with this character. He's part of my cartoon series called Friend Fish that I'm working on. And you can see when I draw those lines, like whoosh, whoosh, with the leaves, there's like one up, one down, one over, one straight up. That's a quick moving action. The same again. I do that with my pencil, mechanical pencil. When you practice, you could be able to do that. The more and more you sketch, the better you will become. And there's that little one in the back. So I'm just going to shade that one in darker. Okay, and the one hanging on the bottom there, the back there. And a little shadow there. Okay. Let's get one on the back. So what I'm doing here is a little bit overlapping action. Not everything's side by side. There's one in the back, a little smaller, a little bigger angle. It could be ripped, could be torn, chewed on from another fish. Using your imagination is an awesome thing, and I want to encourage that and sketch more, of course. All right, so let's get a little bit heavier with the lines here. Let's get some coral over here. Okay, the little coral reef that's like popping up out of the bottom of the sand there. I'm just going to quickly shade that in there. All right, another one in the back there. All right, and here, this is something definitely you can use your imagination. Coral reefs and the different type of textures and patterns underneath the ocean are so far advanced. It's phenomenal. You may even want to check out some videos and some books, but there's an enormous amount of sea life underneath the water. That's really cool. And they are colorful, which I like. And a little couple of seashells or rocks here. Another one over here. Let's make these more of a rocks. Little ones, small ones there. Okay. Randomly placing them all over there. Spreading it out then. Looking good. I like that. Little shadowing underneath those little seaweed there. Grass blades, a little bit heavier. Coming back. Let me just circle that on. So what you can actually do here when you're on the computer, you can separate the fish could be on one layer, the seaweed on another one, and the coral reef with the background could be on another background all together. All right, I'm just going to quickly sketch. You can see how light that is now. It's very, very, very light. I'm pushing down very, not so hard. That's just to give like a distance in the background there. If that was more of a mountain, let's see light. All right, so I think I'm good. So let's sign and date. Share with your family and friends. Thanks for watching this lesson and have a great day. Hey, I hope you learned something from this lesson today on this little cartoon fish on the computer. And what I share from time to time, it's always best to practice traditionally first, that's pencil and paper, before always going on digital. But from time to time, I want to give you some advanced lessons on the computer and more lessons on that too. What did you learn from this technique that I was working on the computer? Did you notice it looked just like the paper and pencil, yet having the layers gives you a lot more options. But when you're doing traditional, you just got one layer. More challenging. Again, tip, perfect. Keep sketching on your traditional paper. Awesome. Now, what about the other two? The turkey and the little reindeer. All these were really fun animals to learn. Maybe to inspire you after this episode is all done and over with, which is coming up right now. Man, that was fast, wasn't it? This whole half hour just went boom. You may still want to continue drawing. Hey, that would be awesome. My website is jmg-studio.biz. As always, thanks for watching this episode and have a great day.